Developed by Starry Studio, Once Human puts you on the path to uncovering a massive secret behind a dark, corrupting force known as the Stardust. Set in a post-apocalyptic world inhabited by fierce monsters and hordes of undead, Once Human's gameplay revolves around exploring these desolate ruins and fighting gargantuan bosses while working on building out your character with strong weapons and high-level gear. Once Human also offers co-op options to join forces with friends, which should make it a pretty fun time for survival game enthusiasts. If you enjoy games like Valheim and V Rising, this one might be a game for you. Enshrouded is a cooperative survival crafting action RPG set in the huge open realm of Embervale, where you will have to survive the shroud which corrupts everything it touches. Here you will get to play around with unique combat builds with an in-depth skill tree system, from using sword and shield to wielding magic or training to be the next Robin Hood. Unleash your creativity and become a master architect building bases and buildings like no other. Enshrouded promises a vast assortment of materials and furniture. You won't just be building for yourself, but also for NPCs to come live with you. Another great feature is that you can play the game with up to 16 friends. Palworld is, in short, Pokemon with guns. The game has all the staple hallmarks of quintessential Pokemon games, but with the enforced use of assault rifles. In this open-world game, players have the opportunity to capture over 100 unique pals, each possessing a diverse range of skills and types. These pals can be utilized for various purposes, including traversing the environment, providing protection, aiding in crafting and construction, and enabling players to engage in combat against wild pals during the adventure. Furthermore, Palworld incorporates a robust genetic system, enabling players to breed different pals and create unique and powerful variations. What's even more interesting is the open-world multiplayer feature, allowing players to invite friends and engage in battles and skirmishes. These battles not only involve stealing pals and items, but also involve confrontations between players' own pals, pitting their trained pals against other contenders in a battle of skill and strategy. Ark 2 is the sequel to Ark Survival Evolved. It takes place in the standard primitive world where dinosaurs and humans fight for dominance. I would say the combat system will be similar to Souls-like melee combat. The game will have a single-player campaign, but will of course have the co-op feature that improves on all the current aspects of the Ark games. You can traverse the world by climbing, mantling, parkouring. What most people are excited about is the cross-platform modding. With Ark 2, there will now be fully stackable, user-created mods for all the new creatures, maps, and gameplay features distributed across all platforms. This will come with support for the modded unofficial servers. Built using Unreal Engine 5, Rooted promises brutal survival mechanics in a post-apocalyptic world brimming with all manner of dangers like ferocious undead creatures and scarcity of important resources. It presents its post-apocalyptic world in great detail thanks to Unreal Engine 5's impressive feature set, and that combined with the systemic game design makes it a compelling experience. Nightingale isn't your standard open-world survival game. When I first saw it, the aesthetic itself just looked like no other survival games I've played. You become an intrepid realm walker in which you travel the dangerous Fey realms of Nightingale. Here, you will navigate through Feywild forests, swamps, deserts, and other biomes. The game requires you to assemble magical realm cards, and by wielding their power, it will determine the details of your next destination. Travel through transdimensional portals and survive different horrors sent your way. Like every other survival game, you will craft, gather, and make your own tools. Build an estate if you wish and recruit NPCs to help you automate production or gather resources for you. The game can be played solo or co-op with friends. If you've ever fantasized about being stranded on a deserted island, constructing a shelter, and immersing yourself in local wildlife, Nordic Troll's new co-op survival game, Under a Rock, is perfect for you. Set in the early 19th century, you are on an expedition for the Society of Explorers to investigate a previous mission's disappearance. After a disaster with your hot air balloon, you survive but are stranded in a mysterious, forgotten land. This hidden realm, accessible only to a few, is filled with untamed wildlife and unpredictable nature. Surviving requires alertness, resourcefulness, and adaptability as you navigate the uncharted territory, establish a camp, and secure your survival. You can embark on this adventure with up to 10 players per server, allowing you and 9 companions to face the challenges together. Hello Games is no stranger to survival elements, as evidenced by No Man's Sky, but Light No Fire offers a much larger scale. Announced as the first real open world with an Earth-sized planet to explore, players can create buildings and form towns, explore various biomes, uncover resources, explore its origins, and maybe tame some wild creatures like dragons to serve as mounts. While the fight for survival is constant, there are no restrictions on where you can go. Climb underwater, go deep sea diving or sailing, and much more. Light No Fire is incredibly ambitious, offering all of these with role-playing elements, various fantasy races, and co-op. Blight Survival is a new medieval cooperative survival game developed by Hainier Studio. The game is set in an alternate 14th century in a grim and desolate no man's land between two warring kingdoms. In the game, you will take on the roles of knights fighting both human enemies and monstrous creatures affected by a plague known as the Blight. The gameplay is designed for up to 4 players in co-op mode, but it can also be played solo. It combines elements of survival, action, and horror with a strong emphasis on tactical combat and resource management. In the game, you will need to traverse dangerous environments, engage in methodical combat, and make strategic decisions about whether to safely extract or advance further into enemy territory for greater rewards. STALKER 2 is the new and highly awaited installation in the STALKER franchise. The game combines the experience of surviving in the Chornobyl Forbidden Zone after the nuclear disaster with unique action. The first-person shooter offers a unique gameplay experience that combines immersive simulation and horror elements. In the game, you will explore a vast Chornobyl Forbidden Zone full of dangerous enemies, deadly anomalies, and powerful artifacts. As you create your own epic story, you must make your choices carefully, because your ending will depend on those choices. You can also choose between different editions of STALKER 2: Ultimate Edition, Deluxe Edition, and Standard Edition. Each version offers different content and special bonuses.